All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. UFC 316, Merab Dvalishvili versus Sean O'Malley 2 just took place. And before we get into that, if you've seen the news, Ben Askren, I think he's in critical condition. He's been hospitalized. I don't know what he's suffering from, but yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of the whole entire situation. But just go show him some love and support, and keep him in your thoughts and prayers if you do that kind of thing. He's definitely one of the good guys in the sport, and you hate to hear this kind of thing. And hopefully you make a full recovery, Ben. And yeah, we're all rooting for you, man. So good luck. Yeah. Back to what I was saying. Merab Dvalishvili versus Sean O'Malley 2. It was tough, man, because I'm a Sean O'Malley fan, and yeah, it was just hard to watch because Sean O'Malley, this was not a surprise to anyone. Look at the odds before the fight. Look at the predictions everyone was having. Everyone was siding with Merab, aside from a few biased fighters that were friends with Sean O'Malley. I feel like if anyone looked at this fight from an unbiased perspective, it was easy to call that Merab was going to win. And that's the thing. I'm not surprised by the result. I'm surprised by the method. Merab Dvalishvili, he's generally not a submission artist. He's generally more of a decision fighter, and that's why I think a lot of the fans give him flack. But that's the thing. He's as dominant gets. Sean O'Malley, I don't know if it was a game plan issue. I don't know if it was a mentality issue. I don't know what it is, but it really just... I'm sure O'Malley's been working hard day in, day out to prepare for Merab, because that was the last fight he had and he knew he was going to get the immediate rematch. So it's just to see him go out there and really have no answer again for Merab and kind of just try the same old approach. It just goes to show he took the wrong things away from the first fight. The first fight was not close as much as he wants to say that. It was not. He had one moment in round 5 where he got Merab to the body, but other than that, it was kind of one-way traffic from Merab. Merab wasn't beating the shit out of him or destroying him, but it was clearly Merab was clearly ahead of O'Malley, and he clearly didn't have much of an answer for Merab's grappling and wrestling, and he was on the back so much their first fight. This fight was kind of the same, if anything worse. And that's the thing. O'Malley had a torn labrum in the first fight, and he performed better than he did in this one. But that being said, obviously fighters improve. And Merab, after he fought O'Malley, he beat Umar, which everyone thought he was going to get steamrolled by. So for him to go beat Umar like that, his confidence is through the roof. And confidence is such an important thing in this sport. And yeah, momentum as well. Hindsight's 2020. O'Malley probably should have had a fight between now and then, but obviously he didn't want to risk his spot, because if he lost that fight, he would have never got the championship opportunity. And obviously the champion opportunities pay a lot better than contenders. However, O'Malley's going to have a lot of awkward conversations coming up in the near future, not only with himself, but with his old pal Tim Welch. By no means is Tim Welch a bad coach. That's not what I'm saying whatsoever. I think Tim Welch is an amazing coach. He got O'Malley from nothing, and he sharpened him up to a world champion. You know what I mean? He got the belt, and that's the thing. So people are all turning on Tim Welch and saying this and that. Tim Welch is not a bad coach by any means. But, like I said before this fight, I believe O'Malley is too comfortable where he is. If you see the videos with Adesanya and, Mighty Mouse or whatever, he shows his facility and he shows all this. And that's the thing. By no means am I saying, it shouldn't be catered to you and all this. 100%, especially at world title level, everyone's attention should be on you. However, I think O'Malley is a big fish in a small pond there, and you hear this time and time again. When fighters get too comfortable, they kind of stagnate, right? And O'Malley is not in a position of his career where he should be stagnating. He should be improving, right? Look at Sandhagen. From, a few years ago, he was just a flashy striker, right? And then in the last, few years, he's been adding so much wrestling and grappling to his game where he's now an MMA fighter, right? Obviously, everyone's an MMA fighter, but really, embodies that. He goes for takedowns. He goes for strikes. He goes for everything. Whereas O'Malley, you look at his last 4 or 5 fights, it's kind of all the same thing. Maybe his punches are a little faster, maybe his defense a little sharper, but as far as major improvements, because O'Malley's only 30, he should be making not astronomical, reinvent the wheel here, but he should be making solid, noticeable improvements each fight, and I'm just not seeing that. And that's the thing. That's not taking anything away from Merab Dvalishvili. This was a great performance by him. You know, he must have watched my video because, like I said, the only way for Merab's stock to improve from this fight was to get the submission, because we've seen how he can dominate him for 5 rounds, and that's what Merab did. So kudos to Merab. Great job. But anyways, back to O'Malley. O'Malley, well, that's the thing. Sorry, Usman, right? You look at Usman. He used to work for or train with Henry Hooft at Killcliff, or whatever 16 names they've changed it. He went to Trevor Whitman, and then he showed in like really, really big improvements, especially in his striking department, right? He started getting knockouts on the feet. He was a lot more comfortable on the feet. And O'Malley obviously does need to get more comfortable on the feet. He needs to work on his grappling and, you know, all-around skill set. But I feel like for O'Malley, and that's the thing, you look at Usman, he still trains at Henry Hooft's gym. It's not some big dramatic breakup where it's like, oh, you ate shit, you're not a good coach. None of that at all. I just think O'Malley needs to be uncomfortable again. I think he needs to get to a new gym where he's the new guy, where he doesn't have all the say in what happens in his training. That's the thing. He established that he's, you know, cutting out weed, you know, Jane the Peen, you know, social media, all this distraction, all this shit. And he showed up the same. There's no improvement, man. If anything, he looked worse. In the first fight, he had a torn labrum, right? So it's like, for me, I really think, obviously, it's most of the blame falls on O'Malley, but I feel like, I don't know if Tim Welch isn't pushing O'Malley enough, and if what Henry Cejudo, now it seems like he was true, where he didn't hire all these new guys to come into the sparring camps and all that. I think it's just the whole comfortability thing, you know, it goes back to that. It's like, oh, I don't want any new faces because what if they say this or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what O'Malley is in his mind, but I think having a new, like, set of minds around O'Malley to form him into O'Malley 2.0, get him to that next level, because that's the thing. Tim Welch, he did his job. He got him to the championship belt. And by no means can O'Malley not return to Tim Welch's training camp and all that, for sure. Tim Welch can even still be in his corner for these fights. I'm not saying, like, get rid of Tim Welch entirely. I just think that he needs to do his next camp in a new gym, whether that's in Arizona, whether it's in another state, I don't know. But I really think O'Malley needs to break out of this old mold, because, like I said, it's not showing a lot of improvements. Excuse me. And yeah, I feel like that would do the world of difference for O'Malley. I still think O'Malley's not done in this sport. I don't know if a move to 45, like a lot of people are saying, is the right call. I don't know if that's the case, but he's definitely not touching the title anytime soon. And Merab, the way it looks, I don't think he's letting that title go anytime soon. And especially, it would be different if O'Malley and Merab had a war this fight. This was just worse than the first fight. So there's going to be zero appetite for a third fight, right? And not only that, Merab has so many different fighters to come up, and he has some rematches to take care of. And yeah, I just don't think Merab will be interested at all in O'Malley, especially because, like I said beforehand, O'Malley did fuck all for the promotion of this fight. And the recency bias in the sport is so real, right? So people are going to be like, okay, last time we seen O'Malley, he was just kind of nonchalant, like, yeah. So what do you think of getting this fight? Yeah. If you don't think I deserve it, don't watch. I don't care. You know, like, just very nonchalant, no effort. And then the fight itself was bad for O'Malley. Like, he looked terrible. I shouldn't say terrible, but he did not look improved at all. And it was a terrible performance for O'Malley. Terrible result. And I just feel like this just did a big number to his fan base. So I feel like that won't even be his saving grace. He'll be like, well, yeah, I'm the biggest fight in the division. I don't know anymore, man, because of this. Because it's so risky. Because, you know, sure, he wanted the title shot again, but to lose twice to the guy in the same row, or twice in a row to the same guy, it's, yeah, kiss your title aspirations goodbye, at least for the next year or so. Especially if Merab loses the belt, I feel like there's still going to be a long line of people before O'Malley gets the next title shot. So yeah, I don't know if O'Malley's going to change weight classes. You know, I don't know if he's going to fight another contender. I don't know how long he's going to take off. I don't think O'Malley should take a lot of time off, because he did take some damage, but not like huge concussive, like you know, you have to take like months and months off, right? I think he should get back in there relatively soon. You know, probably around the end of the fall, maybe you know, November, December, kind of, maybe that, if he wants to take that a little more time off. But yeah, I would just, like I said, different gym. Still be cool with Tim Welch and all that, but yeah, I think he needs to spread his wings and fly, and he's just not getting what he needs from improvement wise from this gym. And you obviously you can't blame Tim Walsh for the entire thing, but yeah, I'd like to see O'Malley, get uncomfortable again, get that that hunger back, want to learn, and become a student again. I think that'll be the best thing that O'Malley can be doing. And yeah, good luck to both men. And yeah, hope the best for the both of them. But yeah, O'Malley's definitely got to do a little soul searching and find a new spot. Moving on. Kayla Harrison versus Juliana Pena. I did not watch that fight. I'm sorry. I didn't think it was going to be a great fight. I was wrong. Kayla Harrison got the submission. Before this fight, I was saying that I was really hoping that Kayla Harrison won because, if you know her story, she's been through a lot and then some. So for someone like that to get the belt, I think she's a really good example for the young women out there, even young men. And I think she's a good role model. I think she's got a good head on her shoulders. I think they're going to do the Amanda Nunes fight next. I don't really watch the women's MMA, to be honest with you. I know, crazy. But from what I remember, I think Amanda Nunes got a lot of power. And Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena, I know Juliana won against her, but their skill sets are night and day. Amanda Nunes is a lot better. So I feel like Kayla Harrison's got her work cut out for against Amanda. But if I had to bet, I would say Amanda would probably win that fight. But you never know. But yeah, best of luck to Kayla Harrison. And yeah, it's tough for Juliana Pena. I don't know where you go from there. I don't know, man. But yeah, moving on. Kevin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. Yeah, I was dead wrong. Not in the sense because I knew Joe Pyfer was going to win. I just thought it was going to be a fight of the night. I thought it was going to be a huge war. And the first round, it was amazing. It was a crazy fight to watch. But yeah, Joe Pyfer knocked him down twice and then decided to kind of do fuck all for the rest. I don't think it's a majority skill issue. I think it's all in here. Because Joe Pyfer, that Jack Hermanson fight, he's so petrified of being gassed out in there and just getting teed off on again to the point where it's like he does his thing and then he just gets so reserved and he let Kevin Gastelum come back into the fight. Like if he decided if he could follow up for the first two knockdowns he got against Kevin Gastelum, he could have easily finished them. But he allowed Kevin Gastelum to get back into the fight. And yeah, it was hard to watch because Joe Pyfer, there's nothing worse when the fighter, whether it's like striking or grappling, where they have a clear advantage, but they just kind of like coast to the finish line, because that does nothing for your stock, does nothing for your star power. And this kind of was like a setup for Joe Pyfer because Kevin Gastelum's 5'9" and he's had all the miles, all the wars. So this was really a setup for Joe Pyfer to be like, okay, forget the Jack Hermanson fight. I'm just going to show out here and knock out maybe not a legend, but like a definite staple in the middleweight division. Kevin Gastelum's been there forever. He's a veteran. And getting a knockout from Kevin Gastelum, it would do pretty good for his career. Obviously, the odds were in Joe Pyfer's favor. No one thought that Kevin Gastelum was going to win. But hey, it is what it is. Joe Pyfer got the win. I think, obviously, Joe Pyfer needs to improve on his combinations and follow-up shots and just strategically. But I think it's a mental thing, whether you need to go to a sports psychologist or something, get that taken care of, the whole cardio issue. Because, I get it's, casual take, but looking like that, you should at least have 3 rounds of cardio. I'm sorry. You're not a heavyweight blob. You know what I mean? Obviously, you're not the flyweight division, so they're not going to shoot 1 billion times or throw 1 billion punches around. But still, for him to be that reserved and that terrified of gassing out is just a very terrible look if you have title aspirations. Because, yeah, I do not think either one of these guys are going to be title challengers. I feel like Joe Pyfer, his future's a lot brighter in the division. That's why I wanted Joe Pyfer to win. Kevin Gastelum, I would like to see him hang it up. He's been through so many wars, and if you don't have the discipline to go down to 170, you're 5'9". You're not DC. You can't do this kind of let me go against these guys with 12 times the knockout power than me, that tower over me. Kevin Gastelum just doesn't have that insane skill set where he can deal with that. And you want to retire from the sport. You don't want the sport to retire you. And whether they cut him after this, I don't know. But yeah, I would not hate to see Kelvin Gastelum walk away from this sport because, yeah, like I said, he's taken so much damage. And this is the UFC. They're not going to give him a layup. They're not going to give him an easy fight. They're going to give him another up-and-coming killer. And I just don't think Kelvin needs to do that to himself. I don't know his finances and all that. I'm sure he's realized that he's not going to be a champion, but hopefully all is well for him. And yeah, I'll support him either way, but I would like to see him hang it up for sure. As far as Joe Pyfer, yeah, a lot of work he needs to be doing before he even considers going up to like the top of the rankings, because yeah, anyone in the top 15 will have an easy time, aside from maybe Vittori and Brendan Allen. Just being like, oh yeah, this guy's, less than one round of cardio. Okay, I'll just weather the storm and call it a day. So yeah, he definitely needs to address that. The power's not an issue. He knows how to land his shots. So it's like, obviously, like I said, he needs to improve like everywhere, but I think it's a majority of a mental thing at the moment for Joe Pyfer. Moving on. Mario Batista versus Patchy Mix. Now, this is literally the reason why I always say, if you're a newcomer to the UFC, not a chance should they ever get a top 5, let alone title shot. I feel like top 15 for sure, maybe top 10, depending on how highly touted they are from their other organization. But this is the reason. UFC nerves clearly showed, like, I wasn't the biggest Patchy Mix guy before he came into the UFC. I only watched the UFC. But as per usual, everyone who trains with him was like, oh yeah, Patchy Mix is the next champion. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it did not show this fight. The boos for this fight were insane. Like, Mario Batista, he's become like one of the most hated fucking guys in the sport. And I don't think he deserves that. I don't think Mario Batista's a bad guy. He just had a shitty performance against Aldo. It is what it is. But yeah, for them to boo this fight was crazy because, well, by all means, it wasn't the best fight in the world. It was more like a sparring match. There wasn't a lot of intent behind either one of their attacks. But Patchy Mix, he landed a head kick, and I think he rocked Mario Batista, but he's far too hesitant to continue. And the thing about Patchy Mix too is like he had no head movement. Like he was doing the meme where it's like here he's just like hit me, you know what I mean? Like he was just taking way too many shots at the head. I feel like if Mario Batista pushed on the gas a bit more, because that's the thing. This was a chance for Mario Batista to redeem himself and get a huge win over a other promotions champion. And that's the thing. Patchy Mix, as much as people don't really care what you do outside the UFC, he was a champion, right? And he did do a lot. He did do really well in his promotion. And that's the thing. This right here makes the UFC look so much better because it's like, that's it. That's your champion. You can't even get past our top 10. You know what I mean? So I think Patchy Mix has got a lot to work on. I will give him the benefit of the doubt. I feel like his next fight will truly be where he is in the promotion. Like same thing with Patricio Pitbull, right? He did kind of fuck all his first fight in the UFC as well. He did start getting going at the end of the fight, but too little too late. I feel like both of these guys, give them another chance. If they don't show up their next fight, then it is what it is, get rid of them or whatever. But yeah, I like to think that a lot of this has to do with the nerves and just the weight of the whole moment. But that is a valid excuse, but at the same time, like he should have done a lot better. He did look far too reserved. Not only that, I'm pretty sure he's like a grappler. So for him to shoot no takedowns and kind of just stay on the feet was really stupid in my opinion. I guess Mario Batista didn't want to try him with the grappling either because apparently he's really good. So that's why he didn't want to push him against the fence because he thought he would get submitted. Mario Batista did well, but I don't think his stock went up that much from this fight because, yeah, I feel like if he put on the pressure a bit more, he could have got the finish. Because, yeah, Patchy Mix was there to get hit, but it is what it is. I guess we'll see where they go from there. But, yeah, moving on. Vicente Luque versus Kevin Holland. I thought Kevin Holland was going to win. Vicente Luque he was able to take some punishment. Like, he's not shattered goods by any means, but it was hard to watch the first, few seconds of the fight where Vicente goes for that takedown and he's just holding his thigh there where Kevin Holland's just like, bang, 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 bang. Like, that's a fight IQ thing. Like, if you're not getting that takedown, let go and put your hands up. Why are you taking, 7-8 shots unanswered to the head? Like, I don't know. Vicente Luque, he's definitely not where he once was. He's definitely, obviously, not in his prime. He's another one where it's just like, I would not hate to see him retire. I get they make a lot of money from this and all that, but, Vicente, he's another one. He's been through so many wars. He did have some shots on Kevin Holland. He did land a few, but the speed difference was apparent. He kind of, not rocked Kevin Holland, but kind of stunned him where Kevin's like, okay, whoa, but other than that, really one-way traffic from Kevin Holland. He was piecing them apart. 6'3", he's really big for 170. I think he definitely should stay in 170. He even said that in the post-fight. It's not I don't know if it's a mentality thing, but like in 85, they're just way too big. They have way too much power. So they can just drag him down to the ground and sub him. Whereas Kevin Holland, I think he just kind of walks into 185, like he doesn't really cut much weight. Whereas 170, I feel like it would be a lot smarter of a move for him. I don't, with Kevin Holland's mentality, I don't think he's championship material, because it's like he's kind of like hit or miss. He's like, oh, I'll win or lose. Like, whereas like you look at TJ Dillashaw, right? When he lost, he was like pissed. Whereas Kevin Holland's like, oh yeah, I lost to another grappler, whatever. But if Kevin Holland can sharpen up his mindset and admit that you do want the belt. I hate when fighters do it. It's like, I don't give a fuck about the belt. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm sure you don't give a fuck about the belt. No, you're too afraid to admit that you want the belt because the losses that he's had, right? And that's the thing. I will never, 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 never be a Kevin Holland fan, ever. After what he did with the Rampage Jackson, the Jackson podcast, that one thing, because that's the thing. It's different if you're like a kid and you act like that, right? It's like, oh, well, he's just learning. He's a grown man. And to act like that towards Rampage Jackson, I'll never root or support Kevin Holland ever. Like, you don't do that to the OGs of the fight game. That was fucking wild to, be all, I don't want to go too crazy, but yeah, that was fucking wild. And yeah, so I'm definitely not a Kevin Holland fan, but if he can get his mind right and really commit and like admit like, hey, I really want to make something, I really want to do a run for the belt, he might be able to get to the top 5. I don't think he has what it takes to beat the champions, but yeah, he definitely could be a problem in the 170 division. So I don't want to say good luck to him because I don't like him. I love Rampage, and it's just like, for you to act like that towards Rampage is just fucking crazy. Like, Rampage is a funny guy. He's gonna, like, that's the thing. Like, it's just, it shows how secure you are when someone makes a light joke about you, and then you start like going at him on the, like, what the fuck? Like, nah. I'll be here all day bitching about that, but whatever. Yeah, like I said, good win for Kevin Holland. Vicente Luque, like I said, I would like to see him hang it up. Yeah, I guess we'll see where Kevin Holland goes. He called out Colby Covington. I hope Kevin Holland. That's the thing. I said that Carlos Prata should be fighting Colby Covington, because that's the thing. I don't think Colby Covington is a threat to anyone in the top 15 anymore. And yeah, I would like to see Prates get that fight, because I would like to see Prates, move up in the sport as well. But yeah, I feel like if Kevin Holland gets that fight, I feel like he would get that one done too. But yeah, I guess we'll see where they go with that. And yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.